What if you are considering moving to a country and you've done your research, you've read about the country, but you have questions about specific neighborhoods? So today I want to start a series. I think I started a couple of videos prior to kind of give you um, an eye view of maybe I did the Via Hispania, a major street, but how about just some, boots on the ground information about a particular neighborhood? This is how I want to start this series. But when I give you the street view of those buildings, I mean, not building, but just the streets and the neighborhoods, I want to give you more information. Remember, my audience, you are the single older woman. As a single older person, concerned about safety, walkability, accessibility, those are the things that I want to touch on. But before we do that, I want to also tell you a little bit more about our beloved Panama, because those of us who have fallen in love with Panama, we know what we like about Panama, but I am always amazed as to how much we don't know about Panama. And me being the curious person that I am, I've done a little bit of research and I want to share that with you. So before we start our tour, I'd like you to sit down, get a drink, relax, and enjoy this presentation. As you know, our beloved Panama is in between Costa Rica to the west and Colombia to the east. We are between two oceans, which is why they call it an isthmus, which is a narrow stretch of land. You know that Panama is outside of the hurricane belt, so we don't get direct hit, which is yay. And you also know that there is tropical weather, they speak Spanish and all that. But as you look at neighborhoods, you need to know a little bit more, and that's what I'm bringing to you. So before we continue, if you don't know who I am Maggie Lazar. I am a retired nurse, nurse practitioner, and I have been living here, retired in Panama for over 3.5 years. Getting onto my fourth year, mind-boggling to me, means I'm getting old. And I'm also the creator of SWRA, Single Women Retiring Abroad, a group of sassy older ladies such as myself who have made a conscious decision to retire here, live our best lives, create community while we reinvent ourselves. But the ultimate goal of SWRA is to recreate or create a newer model of aging abroad that is sustainable and affordable. So if any of this sounds of interest to you, don't forget to hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe. We did hit 20,000 subscribers, and I am forever grateful, in your debt. When I try to tell people how much I love this community that I'm building, and that's why, for me, YouTube is not a money-making medium. It is a way for me to communicate. And I am grateful that I can just say things and people comment, they come in and tell me how much I've inspired and assist them. And I'm just so humbled because when I started this journey just 2 years ago, I didn't know where it was going. I still don't know where it's going because I opened myself to the possibilities. I love cooking with you on Sundays. I love doing the live on Saturdays. People find value in what I say. So please continue to support the channel, get into a membership. Everything that you do helps me because, as I said, I'm not waiting for YouTube to feed me, but having the extra definitely helps. I appreciate the support. All right, Panama, population, about 4.5 million people all around. You have some cities with that many people, so it's not that big. Panama is divided in 10 districts. The newest district is Panama Oeste. You can think of district in terms of states if you're from the US, right? So the districts then are divided, not district, the provinces, 10 provinces. Did I misspeak? I'm sorry. 10 provinces. And within the provinces, you have districts. So think of the provinces as states and the districts as counties, right? And then within the counties, you have towns. And the towns here, we call those corregimientos or neighborhoods, all right? So you need to know what district you're in. We are in the province of Panama, which is kind of confusing sometimes for people. You have the country called Panama. You have 10 districts, 10 provinces that are, I always forget, Panama is a district itself. Then you have Veraguas, Cocle, Penenome, Los Santos, Herrera, Chitre, Colon, Chiriquí, everybody knows about Chiriquí. Bocas is its own province. Panama Oeste, the newest province, and then the Darien, where you have the Embera people. Okay, then the country also has 6, I think 7 now, indigenous groups, and they live in certain territories that are semi-autonomous. They're indigenous group, but they're also Panamanian. So they have some self-directedness in terms of how they manage their affairs, which is why when you want to go to San Blas, the guide has to get permission from the comarcas of the Gunayala. That's it. So the 3 major indigenous groups here in Panama that I see, that I recognize, are the Gunayala, which is where San Blas is. Then you have the one in the Darien, which are the Embera people. They have the paint on their bodies. The Gunayalas have the beads on their legs. You can see the ladies in town because they are immersed in the population. And you have the Nabebugle from Chiriquí and Bocas, and they wear the long, flowy, colorful dresses. And they have some smaller other comarcas, okay? They live within their communities, they have their own rules, their own laws, but they do have access to local services because they are Panamanian. Just like we have the Chinese, they are Panamanians too. All right. It's good to know that. If somebody were to ask you, what district do you live in? Would you know what district? You know, one thing that I know is that when you go and apply for your electric with Naturgy, and the bill comes, it's not a paper bill, it is emailed to you. Then on the top, they would have your address and they would have your district, right? Corregimiento, your neighborhood, and then your district. We are in the District of Panama, where I am. But my corregimiento is on that paper, says Caledonia. All right? So just keep that in mind. So in this video, I'm going to take you along in El Cangrejo. I know El Cangrejo is super popular, and this is where one of the first places people visit or they stay at when they're coming for like a tour and they're doing their research, okay? Because it is accessible, it is centrally located, and the prices are kind of medium range. So it's not like you're going to be paying extra for the name or whatever, okay? So some interesting facts I'm going to tell you along as we're walking about El Cangrejo. It is a small neighborhood within the District of Panama. It has about 30,000 residents. People talk about they love the mix of older folks and younger folks because they have a lot of international people there, workers, families, and international students or students, because El Cangrejo is situated between 2 major thoroughfares, right? If you've ever been there, you know, Via España, and then if you go all the way down, you're going to end up on Avenida Simon Bolivar, I think, Transitsmica, that's the same road. And then it spreads out, right? So on the other side of Via España is Obarrio, right? And on that side, would it be Caledonia? Don't quote me on that. But it is centrally located. It has access to buses. The metro is not too far. It's got loads of services, and the major food store is LRA. It is close to hospitals. It's not too far from Santo Tomas. So when you are in El Cangrejo, you're really in a centralized location. So that's what makes it attractive to a lot of people. But anyway, so sit tight, get a drink, coffee, a glass of wine, and just enjoy the ride. Because let me tell you, I got up early and it was a labor of love, okay? In this heat, I want you to remember that. Because it was. All right, sis? So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And just sit tight and enjoy the ride. Au revoir. See you soon. All right, so I took the metro towards Via Saita. Line 1 metro. Yeah, our beautiful metro line. That looks so good. I got off Via Argentina so I can get to the road called Via Argentina. That's the direction. Get up those escalators and then you come out and you see Minimed. This is Via España. That busy road. Always busy, except on Sundays. This is El Motete, my favorite fonda. So I did not turn right, I turned left. Well, I didn't turn left, I turned right out of the subway. Well, no, I turned left. Oh my God, my directions are all messed up. Because you got to turn left when you get out of the subway to get to Via Argentina. And there is a little bit of a walk. So giving you a little view, this is Casa de las Fiestas. This is a party store. Very affordable. You pretty much can find anything in there. And then I look outside and they had fruits. I'm like, oh, I got to check that out. Sure enough, they had all kinds of stuff. So being the nosy neighbor that I am, I went in. They had like little shelves with different things. You know, it would be a nice little store, which is right outside the metro. You can't ever go wrong because somebody probably gonna grab something to take home. And that's the beauty of it. Not the watermelon. They had the fruits in the cooler. Toilet paper, you know, like you would find in the mini super. Mini supers are much better stock, that's for sure. I don't think they have as wide of a choice for fruits, but they do have some. Baking soda. And they had some kind of beans at the bottom there. I didn't recognize them. So not much to look at, but you might be able to find something if you're in a bind. Yes. And they do have a store on the left there. I forgot what they sell there, but they're just sharing space. And I did ask the young man if it's new, and he said yes, a new business. All right, you get your cantaloupe, piñas, papayas, avocado, I'm sure. He didn't want to be in the video. So you're looking at, I think, Obarrio in those buildings there because El Cangrejo is on the right. So we're going down. There is a bus stop there, quite large. So if you're heading towards Albrook or towards Cinco de Mayo, you can catch a bus there. You know, Panama has a lot of one-way streets. So if you catch a bus on one side, don't assume you can go on the other side and catch the same bus. Not necessarily. A lot of one-way, you have to go around, roundabout. Yes. We lament sometimes that the person who designed those roads really wasn't really thinking straight. Because some of the setup and the roundabouts really don't make sense. But hey, it is what it is. We're walking towards Via Argentina. Via means way, right? So Argentine way. So I'm assuming a lot of the businesses there belong to Argentinians. I'm just assuming, but I'm not sure. Oh, they love pizza and junk food galore. Mm-hmm. Burger King. So when you have the metro station, you have entrances on both sides of the road. Mm-hmm. So when you get out, if you turn right, you take the right escalator or the left escalator. Look at that, Machetazo Express. It's like a mini Machetazo, and it's got a lot of stuff in there. I've been in that little store. We're coming upon the taxi, what do you call that? The taxi station? People get off the bus and the train and they just hop into one of those. And there is the taxi marshal that's directing traffic, telling you which cab you can get into. That's so powerful. I remember we used to have them in South Africa. We called them the taxi marshal. And I came across this man. He was so precious. He was selling these little round things. He told me they're full of protein. And I'm like, really? But as a rule, I don't eat street food. I don't know how it was prepared. It's cooked at home. No bueno for me. Nope. I don't do it. But of course, I turn off my audio because I did not want to get in trouble with the YouTube police. They're going to tell you, oh, you're playing somebody's music. Because the music could be playing in a store. Then I get dinged for it. That's so silly. But, hey, those are their rules. And somebody came and ordered something from him, and it was like a corn triangular thing. But you know, the locals, their system is used to it. But you, as a foreigner, stay away. People get sick all the time, and they say, oh, yeah, this lady said to me, I'm going to eat it, even if I get sick. Well, go ahead. I don't, nope. Okay, senor, he was so friendly, so nice. Oh, got his shades. Looking cool, too. Bye. Hasta luego. All right, and on the right is El Rey de las Empanadas. He's the king of empanadas. There's always people standing around having some. They have, I think, 9 or 10 or 11 different flavors of the empanadas. Cheese, chicken, carne, which is ground beef. And then they have some with maduros, which is sweet plantain. And some is a combination of all 2 or 3. One day I tried one when I first came around to visit, and boy, it was greasy. Reminded me of those Popeye's biscuit that I tried one time, and I could squeeze the grease out of it. No. That was the last time I tried one. And I'm sure the oil wasn't fresh. It wasn't olive oil. No, I'll pass. Via España, we're still heading, it's still a little walk from the metro station. This is across the street. They have some stores that people talk about. Is it PA or PX? You can buy clothing, things that apparently are affordable. There's also an Indian restaurant on the other side of that road. Mahajaran or something like that. Never been, so I told you I don't eat out. So this is a pharmacy, Metro Plus. This is the corner. Leonardo is a pizza joint. We're turning right on Via Argentina, the main street in El Cangrejo. This is where the action happens. The restaurants, the pubs, the coffee shops. You have the coffee shops in other areas too, but this is the main drag. Do you notice the trees in the median and on the side, yes, that part they did good, and I appreciate that. Mm. I think I'm gonna show you the sidewalk to see how nice they are. Very different from where I live. Look at that. That's why some people talk about El Cangrejo as being walkable. A lot of cars parked on the side all the time. Could be people who work there. This is the other delivery motorbikes. Pedidos, yeah. When you see the P in front of a restaurant, Donde Tio is a Panamanian type restaurant. If you see the P hanging on the door at any restaurant, that means they do deliveries. With Pedidos, yeah, it's an app. You download it. It's almost like Uber. You put your credit card, and then when you need anything, you go through there to order, and they'll bring it to your building. Look at those sidewalks. Mm-hmm. We're coming up to the first intersection. There's a pizza joint on the right. Yes, Barrio. And then across the street is Prada. And Prada is open 24 hours. I've never eaten there, but I think somebody told me it's pretty nice. But I'm like, 24/7, it sounds like a diner. And I'm not a diner type of eater. There's a crosswalk. That's what you want to use when you want to cross the streets in Panama. Be very careful. Look at that. Still El Cangrejo. To the right, to the left. Yes. I think I'm going to be crossing the road so I could show you Banco General, which is one of the most popular banks here in Panama with expats. They do have some folks who speak English, even though their stuff on the website is not translated. And they do have the very popular Yappy app, which is what almost everybody uses to pay for something. You know, your nails, your hair, the stores, when you go buy food, all kinds of stuff. I had to go open a bank account there just so that I can have the Yappy. I was tired of trying to go to the ATM. Yep. We are on Via Argentina, the main road in El Cangrejo, most well known. And from there, you can direct yourself right or left. Now we are heading, I think, east. Don't quote me. I get really turned around with the directions here in Panama. I don't know if I'm my east, west, north, and south are. I don't know. I just pick one and keep it going. Orthodontic office. They had a program on that in the news about how some people don't keep up with the cleaning. But you know, I didn't too. When you don't have a lot of money, you don't think of dental care, you know? I didn't think about it till I was like in my early adulthood. And by that time, I had a serious gum disease. I had to have a bone graft. And cleaning your teeth in Panama is very affordable. But for the locals, it may not be so affordable to pay $30, $40. You know what I mean? It is what it is. El Trapiche is on the right-hand side. You see it? This is another very famous Panamanian restaurant. You know, I wasn't impressed. I ate there. I was like, no. I ate there twice. When my daughter came, I took her to the one in Albrook, and I'm like, no. I'd rather eat at a fonda, seriously. But some people love it. I think they also, I was reading some trivia that they started the hojaldra burger using the fried bread with stuff on it to make it like a burger. And there's a story behind it. I don't have time to explain it to you, but you can look it up. El Trapiche and the Hojaldra burger. They do a veggie burger with that. And I recently had one at Sabroso. Sabroso Panama is another very popular restaurant, and I do have some stuff. I'm going to put a video out. I'm kind of behind a little bit. I don't know why. You see the trash, but they'll be picking it up. Lots of cafes and stuff. Yeah, they do pick up the trash here. This is not one of those areas where you're gonna see piles and piles of trash, all day, any day. No, they're gonna pick it up. Because tattoo shop, like I said, I know some sisters are waiting to get their tattoos. Not me. I don't like pain. I'm a wuss when it comes to pain. So they have massage parlors, they have veterinary offices because there's so many dogs around. Panamanians love dogs. And I would assume they would also have a lot of pet sitters in the area, with the young people who are going to the university on the other side of the road. So I'm crossing the road again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be looking at that park. There is a park on Via Argentina because remember, it's a neighborhood. And most neighborhoods in Panama will have a park. And inside the park, you're going to have different fields for either baseball or basketball or soccer, and also a dog park. And I did not realize how, this is like a recycling area. I passed it fast, but on the right-hand side, I was like, whoo. And then right next to it is a pile of trash. That was interesting, but I know they're going to pick up the trash. And on the side also, there was a collecting something for clothing and books. So if you have books you want to recycle, if you can't find someone to pick them up, you can drop them up in that container like we usually have at home in the US, where you can donate clothing. Yeah, that's what's there at the entrance of the park on the right. What I remember about this park is that one year when I was visiting, they had like a international food fest, and they had booths with food from Brazil and Russia and Germany, and it was so fun. And every country not every country, the countries that were represented, some of them would have their ambassadors there. They would give like a lesson, do a presentation about the country. Some of them would go up and do some traditional dances. I truly enjoy that. And then they moved the event to Megapolis indoors. I don't know. I think it kind of lost its flair. Not that I mean, it was done at night, so it wasn't like it was really hot. Anyway, I don't understand the rationale behind moving it, but no one asked me. And you have little places for the kids to play. We're still in the park. I think it's called Bayo Park. But it is very popular. So people go there and they do their exercises. They hang out with their friends. Socialization is a big part of health, right? And they do a lot of that here. And they do have outdoor gym or equipment. Look at the ladies. Andres Bello Park. Parque Andres Bello. Yes. It's got a 4.7 rating. And I did not realize it was that large because it got all the way to the end until you get to that other street that is parallel to Via Argentina. So that was interesting. I didn't realize it was that large. There was a group of kids there who was doing something. Of course, I did not record that. Um, you get the rules of the park. Then I think I was looking for the dog park and I came across it. Oh, there it is. Royal Canin. That's the dog park. Oh, so cute. Pick up after your dog. Well, we know not everybody does. Because sometimes you have to watch where you step. People forget to get their little plastic bag. Maybe they don't want to pick it up. And I didn't like that part when I had my Lulu. Mm-mm. And she'd just stop and go. And I'm like, find a tree or something. That dog was not very smart. And they did have a field on the right hand side right there. It was basketball. I think there was another one. Was it soccer? Anyway, along the Cinta Costera, they have fields where people play pickleball. And I know they have other places where they go. In fact, one of the sisters, when she came to the party the other day, she was saying that she has a team, a pickleball team. I was like, oh, that's cool. But I don't know. I'm not that coordinated. I probably tear my shoulder out and no. I'll keep exercising and walking. That's all I'm going to do. So we're getting out of the park. And I'm still giving you, look at all the trees. I mean, you have got to appreciate that about El Cangrejo. We don't have that where I am. If you're looking for Thai cuisine, it's right there. And Pho Vietnam is also there. So you got two Asian restaurants. Yep. Now you see how quiet it is here? At night or on the weekend, this place is packed. Now I was looking for El Caribe. Now Esa Flaca is a restaurant that I know they have one in San Francisco. I believe they sell burgers and stuff. And then I was looking for El Caribe. El Caribe is on this road. This is the first restaurant that I knew of that served Jamaican food. Now they have a slew of other Jamaican restaurants. They even have a Haitian restaurant here that I haven't checked out. But El Caribe with Miss Maritza, that's the owner, those oxtail, they are good, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I have not had it at her place in a long, long time because it comes with the rice and I would be afraid or not be able to not have it. This is the tea house, a Chinese tea house where you can have tea and they sell tea also. I have not been, but a couple of sisters went and said that it's very nice. So, but I know if I go there and have tea, I'll have to have something with the tea. So that's the danger. Danger, danger, danger. That's why we decided not, that's not why. We decided not to do our quarterly tea. The last one was almost a disaster because people didn't come. So now they're like, no, you don't have to do it anymore. I'm like, oh. I think it was cute. You wear our hat, we were white, and we had tea. But the last one wasn't that great. So anyway. This is the fern. Look at that beautiful fern. Oh, I guess all that heat and moisture is good for it. So we are heading towards Simon Bolivar, which is the other main street that borders El Cangrejo. El Cangrejo is between that Simon Bolivar and Via España. Anything else in between is El Cangrejo. There we go. And you see all the buses on the main roads. You don't see so many of them inside the neighborhood. I've seen like one bus closer to Via España. I kind of like that. You don't want buses in your residential area. I wouldn't want that. But I got them here because I live on the main road. It's to be expected, right? And it's convenient too. But I do have noise reducing glass windows, so I don't hear a lot of the noise. Unless those motorcycles are revving up on the weekends, whoo. And then the Diablo Rojo, those big colorful buses, just pulling their horn. And I'm like, why? We can see you coming from half a mile away. So when I looked on the right, I see that they have a Super 7. And I'm like, oh, that sounds like a 7-Eleven. Let me check it out. Look at the gas prices. This is per liter, okay? You'd have to multiply it by 4 to see how we're faring. Now, on that big road there is where the University of Panama is. Look at the inside, the Super 7. It looks like a little 7-Eleven, right? Except that on the other side, they have like a cafe that serves drinks and light fare like chicken tenders and fries and stuff like that. So if you're traveling and you stop, you're not going to starve. But I always say that South Africa, the ones that we would stop along on the highway, I mean, they were decked out with all kinds of yummy stuff. Yummy cookies and pastries and pizzas. Oh, yeah. South Africa did not play with the food. They got it down pat. I looked at the yuca fries and the plantain fry. I did not fry chips. I did not have any. I promise you, I was good. And then I got out. Then I was turning back and I saw the statue. They tell me there is a statue of Einstein somewhere. This one says San Martin. And then I saw this little building on the right. It says Libreria. I'm wondering if it's a real library. It was early, so I didn't go in, didn't try. But I wonder if you can, this is a veterinary clinic. They have lots of those. I wonder if you can borrow books. And then I saw these doors. These cherry doors are so adorable, aren't they? It's an empty space. I could see, displaying cute outfits in the windows. But I don't know, because it's so touristy. People are looking for different kind of stuff. Oh, hola sis, look at that face. Clinica Einstein, maybe that's where the statue is. Ramada Inn, Fruteria Mini. Now, this is a mini supermercado. I saw that it's got everything except fresh meat. I did not see fresh meat. I might have missed them. But if you're looking for veggies, they got you. It reminds me of the places I saw in Costa Rica, in Puerto Viejo. Those were nice stores. Tofu and okra, nahu. That's how they say okra. This is kimchi, but not Korean. It's Chinese kimchi, like 1875. No bueno. Plus, they're a little salty for me. Papayas, garlic, potatoes. Yeah, you get all that here. Remember, they have a young population, so hopefully they're looking for fruits and snacks and light things, not heavy duty, ground beef and stuff like that. They do have some frozen meat. See, here's a pineapple. And the prices were a little bit on the high side. I would think they're a little bit higher than Ray. Well, you're paying for the convenience. Otherwise, keep walking down and you get to Ray eventually. Lots of cleaning stuff. Detergents. Snacks. Oh, I wanted to show you this. They have the bananas, then the flor de Jamaica. This is your hibiscus flower right here. I think they're like $7.50 for the bag. You can find that one here. Bleach. Lots of cleaning supplies. nuts, yes, popcorn, of course, coffee. They had a nice selection of cheeses. I was surprised. But again, they are catering to the demographics, right? People who are young, in college, they're looking for bread, cheese, and some cured meats, right? To make sandwiches. Yep, and they had pita. I was looking for the whole grain pita. I couldn't find it at Ray. And that's the thing in Panama. You find certain things some places you got to remember and then make 3, 4 different trips. Or if you're in the area, just buy it and save it if you can. Yogurt, of course, milk, leche. So there are some things, you can find a lot of things here in the Fruteria Mimi. Griega, yogurt Griega, Greek yogurt. That's usually pricey. I didn't check the price here. Drinks. Frozen fish. And frozen other stuff. So, yeah. Something to cook quickly. Some vegetables. They had frozen fruit, blueberries, strawberries, yes. Alrighty. Bye-bye, Fruteria. Yeah, the chorizos, yeah. Bacon, yeah. So I got out, and then this is a parking space where you can park. I think it says 5 cents per minute, which would be like $3 an hour. Now I'm heading towards Via España, but I'm going to make a left turn to go meet my friend. Oh, look at the cute stairs, the tiles. Aren't they cute? One more coffee house. Yep. And they always have outdoor seating. You see the P? That's for delivery. Pedidos ya. Now, this is a fancy restaurant. Look at that, Angel. Look at the door. That's a very Mediterranean, Spanish type of architecture. All right. I believe I made a left turn to go meet my friend. She was on the other side. Of course, I don't remember the name of the streets, and most of the streets are not marked. Don't look don't look for street names. You're not going to find them. Very few, okay? But if you use your Google Map or your Uber map, they'll be able, the satellite will guide you. So you're okay. La Verdura, Cangrejo 507. 507 is the area code here in the country. It's a country code. 507. One of my other sisters live close to here. I would pass close to this area to go visit her. Definitely my phone does a much better job in the jumping area. So, all right. We're getting close. There's a place here where they sell French perfume. I have not bought anything there. This is a pharmacy, Pharma Value. I buy from them. It's a chain. Then they're going to have a Peruvian restaurant that I've eaten at on this side. And on the left-hand side, they have all kinds of other restaurants too. So, and the place be popping. In the evening, the music be playing. And that's one thing some people complain about, the noise level. Same thing at Casco Viejo. This one, Antonitos, is a Peruvian restaurant. And I had a chicharron here with the guacamole and a chicha morada. Oh, all bad for me except for the guac. Yes. Yeah, the chicharron was not a good idea. Even though they say, oh, it's healthy. I'm like, okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't tell the carnivore that. The carnivores are like, yeah, if you eat meat, it's healthy for you. I don't know that I want to be eating that much meat. I couldn't. All right, so I got there tres cosechas. Cosechas in Spanish means harvest. And it's a coffee shop. It's quaint. Look at that. She even did the art. I ate that. She ate this. She was being healthy. And look at that beautiful little place. This is my friend Marie. She's good. Yes. And then after that, we went to the farmer's market. But anyway, we're going to finish this video. I want you to know I enjoy giving you a tour. That prices are in the mid-range for a one-bedroom, $950 to $1,200, two-bedroom up to $1,500. But they have a Luxor. It's a building that is kind of high-end, and some of them are pretty nice. You're paying for the amenities. So if you're considering El Cangrejo, you owe it to yourself to take a tour, hire someone, and walk around and get a feel for the place, because you will love it, okay? It's got 30,000 people. This is me when I was in the subway, metro, trying to cool off. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you next time.